Dave, tell us who we have on the show this
we got my new BFF on.
Yeah.
Kurt Elling, American jazz icon. He's won, I think he's been nominated, I think between me and him, we've been nominated 14 times for Grammys. Between the two of us, we've gotten 2 Grammys, I believe.
Not bad.
I've become very good friends with Kurt. He's a great guy, but he's got an EP out, and we're going to talk to him about his new EP.
Do you know that I was once nominated for a Grammy? For real?
Where? When?
In 1989, I produced a thing called Decade of Service for Steve and Gary.
And it was nominated for a Grammy?
In the spoken word category.
Really?
It was nominated, did not win, but yeah.
Oh, so between, we do have 15 Grammy nominations.
All right, well, let's check it out, because it's time for Minutia Men's Celebrity Interview.
The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is the Minutia Men Celebrity Interview with Rick and Dave.
Dave, rare occurrence is happening here in the Minutia Men universe. Rarely have we had a guest on more than once, but today we welcome back a very cool cat, world-renowned, multiple Grammy Award-winning American jazz icon, Kurt Elling. Kurt, thanks for slumming with us again.
Well, it helps that you guys are having kind of a slow week, because then you can, you're just like, well, who do we got?
Yeah.
We got the guy with the dog. That doesn't play on radio.
Yeah, right. We wanted a couple of mimes come in, but we're like, the mimes aren't going to work on radio, so.
Well, whatever the reason, you're back on. And so we're going to just hop into this. First question, I know that Dave tells me that you have replaced me as Dave's BFF, which, by the way, I'm totally fine with. I'm wondering if he has begun to repeat his stories and jokes yet. And for instance, how many times has he recited his 6th grade Abe Lincoln poem?
Well, now here's the thing. I mean, I've got the memory of a sieve. So even if he tells me the same joke every time, it's kind of like dealing with an Alzheimer's patient. Okay. It's going to be funny every time.
So this is why you're his new BFF.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're like a dream for him.
Oh, my God, you're never going to get sick of me. This is awesome.
Well, and, every time it feels like the first time. It's like, who is that? What band was Foreigner, right?
Yes.
Every single time we have coffee, I'm like, oh, I got a new friend. What's his name?
That's great.
Dave?
I like multiply. I'm like an amoeba. I self-dividing. So Rick, one of the reasons why you have been replaced by Kurt is I have far more interesting and cerebral conversations with him than you. All you want to talk about is soccer, beer, and your gout. Yeah. I mean, that's all what you want.
No, that's all you want to talk to me about.
Well, but Kurt, we talk about social inequity, climate change, and a very important topic that we have just bonded on over the last week or so, pinball. Right? Let's just say me and Kurt, we have a connection with a particular pinball machine from our youth, and it's not Funhouse, it's called Cyclone. Did you know that, Kurt?
Right, Cyclone. That was its name. Clearly we're experts.
Now
we can't remember the name of our own favorite machine.
Yeah, well,
it was a long time ago.
Now, Kurt, I took the liberty, and I spent more time on this yesterday than I did in my entire first year semester of college studying. But I have isolated and spliced together all the important sound effects. And we're going to hear it and play it for you right now. Rick, roll tape.
Okay, here we go.
Hurry, hurry. Step right up. Ride the Ferris wheel. Round and round she goes.
We're going to play all of this?
Yeah, it's 3 hours.
Ride the cyclone. You paid your money, it takes your chances. Hurry, hurry, step right up. We have a winner. Millions, you sir and you madam.
How's that, Kurt? I think this is a Spotify EP, don't you think? I think I can put this on.
Definitely the lights are flashing in my eyes over here. I'm sitting in a darkened room and I'm totally having flashbacks.
You could do interviews for the rest of your life, Kurt, and you will never have someone else play that for you. That's a guarantee.
I'm going to go with that. Yes.
Now, when we had you on about a year or so ago, your Grammy-nominated album, Super Blue, had just come out, and it's a great album. And now you've got another EP out that just dropped a few weeks ago entitled Super Blues, Guilty Pleasures. And I listened to it yesterday and today. It's fantastic. We're going to play a couple of tracks from that in a second. But first, tell us about the EP. What inspired you to do this one?
Well, the drummer on this side, first of all, for everybody who's our age, an EP is basically a short version of a record,
right,
which doesn't have any vinyl attached to it. So EP is just a fancy way to say we made more music.
Right.
So we wanted to get together with our friend Nate Smith, who is an incredible, innovative, current level drummer. And he's the sweetest guy, and I'm so proud to call him my friend. And he was in town.
He's not your BFF, though. He's not your BFF, right? I'm your BFF, right?
Well, to be fair, we don't talk about pinball machines.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
It hasn't come up in common parlance yet, Dave. In case you're feeling sensitive.
Okay.
He's such a great cat, man. And Charlie was in town, and I was in town, and so my manager, who's very smart, and I was always thinking strategically, he's like, "Dudes, I've set up time in the studio. You're going in." Really? I thought we were just going to have steaks. He says the steaks are on me. So we go in. And we don't even have a list. And the point of it is, well, what are some tunes that we just love that we can just hammer out right now? So we did an Eddie Money track, and we did. I know the one that Dave wants to play, and I'm going to let him announce it.
Which will be sure
in a grand fashion. So we just went in and we laid them down really raw, and then they sat around for a minute. And I went on tour and came back, and then I'm like, all right, what am I going to do with these? So I fixed them up a little bit, but not too much, because Charlie likes to have everything real raw and, not too many layovers and a lot of background voices and stuff. And then we just sent it to our guy who mixes it up, and we said, make it sound real cheap and scummy.
Yeah, you came to the right place, Kurt.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Well, it's absolutely. I mean, it's fantastic, and you know what? Why don't we play? You mentioned the money or the Eddie Money track. Why don't we play that right now? Play a piece
Eddie
from
Money.
Eddie
All
Money.
right, let's. This is I absolutely. This is my favorite one of the songs, and here we go.
Nice one.
Whatever will be, will be. The future is ours to see. When you hold on to me, hey baby. The future's looking brighter every morning when I get up. Don't be thinking about what's not enough now. Just be thinking about what we've got.
So dig it. I know you guys always have these Brush with Fame segment on your show. You call it something else. I forget what you call it, but it's the Brush with Fame.
Celebrity potpourri.
Yes.
Celebrity potpourri. Brush with Fame. So I'm this is a bunch of years ago. You can use this or not.
Well, actually, you by saying it is we're going to use it. So go for it.
So I'm out in Colorado doing dates with the band. This is maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago, maybe longer, 19 years ago. And my bass player's like, dude, we got a day off. We should go whitewater rafting. I say, okay, because it's going to be boring. And we're out in some, hotel that doesn't mean anything to anybody. And we're like, yeah. So we put on gungies, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to pick you up in a short bus, because that's the way it works. We're going to pick you guys up in a short bus from this strip mall parking lot, and then we'll take you to the place. They say, okay. So we go, and we're standing around, and my guy's got like cut off jean shorts with the tag still on them, and I've got on whatever I borrowed, and we're going to go whitewater rafting. So we get on the short bus. And we got about 15 other people that we're just meeting on the way. And onto the bus comes a guy with real big hair and a big old schnoz, really handsome, but he's also wearing cut-off jean shorts with the snag still coming off the bottom, and tube socks and white tennis shoes. And he comes on and he goes, "Hey everybody, it's Eddie Money, the singer. How you doing? How you doing? How you guys doing?"
That's how he introduced himself?
He walked onto the bus and he said, "Hey everybody, it's Eddie Money, the singer." And then he greeted everybody on the bus. and just like sat down. He's like, yeah, I got my kids. We're going to go whitewater rafting. What are you doing here? Like, dude, we're all going whitewater rafting.
We're all wearing the same clothes and we're going to the same place. Eddie Money, the singer.
Did you introduce yourself as Kurt Elling, the singer?
Yeah.
I just said, dude, Eddie Money, right on, man. And he's like, yeah, all right. And then my bass player, of course, knew all the players on all of his records. He's like, oh, man, in 1972, you did this record. Oh, yeah, that was a good record. Yeah. All right, man. Well, so we're going to raft today, right? It's awesome. So we ended up going whitewater rafting. He had his kids and his wife or whatever in one, and we were like doing races down the thing, and he was getting all winded because he was an old user, and but just a lovely guy. But just to come on the bus and be like, hey, let's put everybody at that micey. Hey, it's Eddie Money.
So when you were on the raft, did he, if anyone started leaning over to the end, did he say, baby, hold on?
You know what? He didn't have that kind of. No. He was busy.
Yeah.
He was looking for his next cigarette.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
That's an awesome story.
Well, he just died a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, he did.
He was a cop.
Not that long at all. And dig this. So we post the music, and his wife writes in, and she's like, "Love that you're doing this. Love the track. Sounds great." And she signs her name, Mrs. $.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I see the
cool.
money. I see that.
Yeah, that is my favorite song on the album, but it's not Dave's favorite.
Hold on, I want to get back to the Eddie. Did she remember you from the whitewater rafting?
Well, this was an online. I mean, first of all, I was some anonymous guy. You know, when I'm walking around, Jennifer's like, dude, why don't you get it together and dress like somebody? I said, what do you mean? Yeah. She's like, you look like a farmer. You're the best jazz singer in the world. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm off duty.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right.
That's my costume.
Yeah, right.
Right now, I'm just wearing dad clothes.
Yeah.
How do you want me to be?
Well, we're going to talk about your daughter and our daughters in a few seconds, because what a hell of a weekend we had with them. But my favorite album is the AC/DC track. Now, I would have preferred that you would have done I've Got Big Balls or Love at First Feel, but I understand why you went with Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I think this is just fantastic. I could see a young Kurt Elling playing Cyclone with his buddies, with his long-haired pothead friends at the arcade, jamming to AC/DC playing Cyclone. Are you a big AC/DC fan? I mean, tell us about this gig.
You know, stupid things stay in your mind. And though I play real high-class music these days, you know, I'm just some guy from Rockford who's walking around with stupid memories from childhood in his head like everybody else. And this one popped out, and I'm like, what if we did blah, blah? And Charlie's like, yes, we're doing that. I said, do you know how it goes? And he's like, yes, we're doing that right now. Roll it.
Wow.
So we just hit it.
and do you have like the lyrics on your phone? I mean,
I had to look them up on my phone. I literally looked them up on my phone.
Wow. I could have done the Done Dirt Cheap part, but I think that's about it.
Well, let's play this is a thing, so let's play.
Problems in your life and love. You got a broken heart. Oh, he's double dealing with your best friend. That's when the teardrops start, baby. Pick up the phone. I'm here all alone. Or make a social call. Come right in. Forget about him. We'll have ourselves a ball. Hey.
You know, what about I've got a couple of other suggestions for you. How about Wham! Wake Me Up Before You Go? Can you do that? Is that another guilty pleasure you can use?
How about We Built This City?
Yeah, do a little Jefferson Airplane Starship.
That is the song I hate more than any other song ever.
Or how about Billy Don't Be a Hero? Can you do that? Oh. Is it paper lace?
Let me do this in response. I've got to follow my artistic instinct.
There you go.
Okay.
And if my artistic instinct doesn't lead me, I can't get any ideas for it, man, to dignify it.
Right.
But thanks. I'll put them in the bag.
Well, maybe if you didn't dress like a farmer, you would have a little bit more inspiration. So I mentioned earlier about our kids. It's just a transparency for our listeners. My daughter and Kurt's daughter go to school together, and they're best buds, and that's how Kurt and I got to know each other. They just did a performance of 4 shows of Little Shop of Horrors, and it was remarkable. And your daughter, and I'm a man's man, Kurt.
That's what everyone
I'm not
says.
an emotional guy. I'll mix
You're
it up in a bar.
Man.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you'll mix it up in a bar.
Yeah, right. I'm a lumberjack, buddy. But I was a weeping, blubbery little mess, and I saw you, and you had a little weepy blubberness around you too. Talk about, you've got to just be so proud, and as I'm proud of Julia, but you and Jennifer must be really proud of Louisa, and she was just remarkable. Tell us about watching your kid up there.
It's a thing, like me, I remember people saying, "Oh, Kurt, I remember when you were 5 years old or 6 years old, and you were making up different parts to songs, and you were always singing all the time. And I'm like, yeah, people always remember stuff in retrospect, and they want to make more of a relationship out of it than it was, or more of a scene than it was, or whatever. It makes everybody feel good. Oh, I remember a thing. But I tell you, I think they're all true now, because when my daughter was 5 and 6, she sang all the time.
Yeah.
And she made up different parts of things. We've got video of her as a 4-year-old singing this really long Broadway thing from a show. I don't even know what it was. And she's making her Barbies sing both parts. And they're just singing, the sweetest thing. But I got to say, to have your kid, because she doesn't really bring, people think, oh, she's going to be a Broadway person. They're in an art school. They're going to be these huge personalities and just want the spotlight all the time. And me. Right. And the most beautiful part about it is Louisa does not have that energy. Yeah. She's just the sweetest kid, and she cares about other people. Even the post she put on Instagram today, she put it on and she's like, hey, everybody, I got to have a show with my friends.
Yeah.
And then she posts 5 different shots of her with her friends. No indication that she's doing the lead.
Right.
No indication that it's like, this was my big moment. None of that. So that's as beautiful a part as the fact that she sings in tune. And you can understand all the words, and there's nothing like seeing any kid with hope and joyfulness and their hearts wide open and they're singing beautifully, except when it's your kid.
Yeah.
Then that's the one step further.
Yeah.
And I got to also say, Julia steals the show every time with her stuff when she comes out for, being the cub reporter and having the personality and also singing great and doing her thing. It's just a joy.
Yeah. We're not really showbiz people, although this podcast is really showbiz.
But you're not showbiz people. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Rick, this buffet sucks. I told you I wanted no. But what and you and Jennifer show busy people. God, it's I don't know what to expect in a sense, because Julia's embarking on they're juniors now. They're going to be going to college in 18 months, which is just crazy. So this is going to be kind of a new thing for us. You kind of been around the block a little bit. So it's got to even be more especially gratifying, I would think,
Oh man, I just want her to be happy.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it's a glorious thing, but you also you don't want to be like, hey, let me go on the podcast and talk about my daughter for an hour, because ultimately nobody else is going to care. It's got to be, we got to be charming to sell this thing, to keep it off the ground. But I didn't call a million people to hey, she's going to be in this. She's going to be in this. She's going to be in this, because you don't know. Maybe my senses are off, and maybe it's just blah, blah, blah. But then you see other people responding to it, and you're like, that was good. That's a good thing.
Just remarkable.
Yeah, I'm thinking as a father of 3 sons that having the daughters a little different experience. We're just hoping that the cops don't come by.
Yeah, right.
So this is a nice change for you guys. And by the way, it looks like you've got a busy couple of months coming up. Starting in early April, you'll be at the Monterey Jazz Festival on tour. 11 City Jaunt. You are coming to Chicago to play, right, for our Chicago listeners?
We're doing the Monterey Jazz Festival on tour. We're doing it at Symphony Center
on the 14th.
One night.
On the 14th.
Among a bunch of, and the other cats who are in that are, they're really stellar. They're beautiful players. Christian Sands and his band. And you got to catch this young woman, Lakeisha Benjamin, playing alto saxophone. She is just the fire, man. and she's so funny, man. You guys would laugh your heads off getting her on the show because she's so clever. And we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have a good time together. And then of course I'm going out with Super Blue again, all through the summer. We're going to 1 million spots. I'm gonna get my 100,000 plus back on United again this year, whether I'm ready to or not.
Woohoo!
And you're going overseas too,
Footprint.
right? Are you going to Germany?
Yeah, you're going to be in
going
Germany.
to Germany again. Yeah, gonna hit with my people.
I bet those shows start right on time, right? The ones in Germany. Those are very punctual shows, I would imagine. Right?
Yeah. It's definitely when you go to France, they want me to be clever and recite Baudelaire, and when I go to Italy, they want me to be like an opera singer and make everybody cry and and when you go to Germany, you've got to be on time.
Yeah, you got to be on time
and hilarious right? Because they love the comedy.
Yeah. You know what? You've got to start doing some more stand up in Germany because those people love that kind of stuff.
They love
it.
And dig this, when I go to China, what I need to do is I need to work up a small magic act.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you thought of balloon animals, Kurt?
Well, balloon animals, that would do. But I don't have I just got to have like 2 or 3 things where it's like I'm singing, and it's totally inscrutable because there's no context. There's no reason why they would enjoy what I'm doing. And all of a sudden, if I just hit some high note and bam, there's some fire out of my hands and I got a burn.
That would really work anywhere if you want to think about it that way.
Well, I'd have to practice before I went because they know from magic.
I went to, I was once sent to Germany to try to teach how to do a morning show to these radio guys because I was a radio producer for real. So they sent me to Munich and because I speak German and I was working with this morning show guy, and I said, so what kind of funny stuff do you have planned for tomorrow? He goes, what do you mean funny? I said, well, isn't it a good thing to start the day off with, a smile on your face? He's like, why would you do that? It's like completely foreign concept to them. They had never even thought of doing a funny show. Yeah. Never occurred to them.
We have a serious day ahead of us. The humor will have to wait until later on.
Say in traffic, why would they want to smile? They are not happy. Oh my God.
Traffic is not a matter for joking. Oh, yeah. Charlie Hunter does this great bit because so this is the guitar player in the band, and he says he does this great bit because somebody actually came to him on a night, and he is the funkiest guitar player out there. And he says, yeah, this guy came to me. I was playing in Dortmund, and this guy came and he said, yeah, you last time were here and you were much more funky than this time. I like it better when you are more funky. And in fact, I don't like just the straight funk, more the funky fusion. I drove 60 kilometers to be here tonight, and you were not as funky.
Oh, my people. Those are my people.
Yeah, right. But he was very polite and he shook his hand very firmly.
Well, not very firmly, because, I don't want to catch anything, because it was not so funky tonight. I want the funk. I want the uncut funk. I don't know where you're playing tonight.
Oh my God! So plug away, Kurt. Tell people how they can keep up with you and where your schedule of events is and whatever.
All that stuff.
Well, it's on the interwebs as always these days. Let's see, it's kurtelling.com, KURTELLING.com, and on Instagram, I believe it's just Kurt Elling. And when I post, you know it because it's me posting right away.
You're the real Kurt Elling.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Only in your jazz clothes, though. I don't want to see any of that farmer crap.
No, sir. No. No pitchforks in the gig, man.
Yeah, your next album should be American Gothic. You and Jennifer could do the American Gothic.
This is what it's going to be like having him as a BFF, by the way.
I'm an idea guy, Kurt. I can't turn it off.
Just so you know.
Don't turn it off. It's a quick coffee and I'm done with it. It's not like we're married.
And he can say the same thing tomorrow and you won't even notice.
Yeah.
Because
and I wouldn't remember. That's right. What a great idea. Wow. Your thing is impressive.
The next time we go out to coffee, I'm going to go, Kurt Elling, the singer, wants a decaf and a strawberry croissant, please.
Hey, everybody, it's Kurt Elling, the singer.
Well, thanks for being on the
buddy,
show,
thanks,
Kurt.
Man. And
you got it, guys.
Best of luck with this. This is some great music you got out there right now.
And your album, it's on Spotify.
Yes, assuredly. It's on iTunes and Spotify, and if you want to hear high class music, you can just go further back in time, and there's acoustic pianos and cellos and all kinds of extraordinary things. And I'm dressed like I'm somebody, man.
Sounds good.
I assume you're going to sample the Cyclone sound effects on one of your next albums, I would assume, right?
Well, you can't sample them, but I can recreate them, you see. When you do a record, you sample them, you got to pay a guy. But if you say them over it, we did a bit where we check it out when you feel like it. This cut, Pleasant Valley Sunday.
Okay. Is that Neil Diamond?
No, it's the Monkees.
Carole King wrote it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the Monkees hit, but I had to do all these voices on it, and because we couldn't sample the stuff, so we had to, and we also had to rewrite it just a little bit, like, oh my, he's getting into the Land Rover, but look at that alligator! What a tussle!
Hey, you with the face.
Yeah, right. Hey, you with the face. That's where it's got to be.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, let us know, and hey, you're going to be on every Tuesday now for the rest, every Monday for the rest of our.
Yeah, you might want to check your schedule on that, Kurt.
Well, no, you're not going to remember that you just did the show, so you will just have you do it every week, and then we don't have to get another guest.
Or we can just play the same interview every week, too.
I think somebody else might hear it.
Hey, buddy, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. And you're just, thanks again. Appreciate everything, buddy.
Yeah, man. Keep rocking, guys. I love all the stuff, and you're keeping a certain thing alive that's pretty funny out there and very, very rare. I had my daughter listen to, of all people, I put on Wally Phillips on YouTube the other day.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, listen to this traffic report. And it was the guys in Chopper 1 and Chopper 2. And she's like, what are they saying? I'm like, exactly.
That's what we grew up on.
That's what we had to listen to figure out whether we could take Route A or Route B to work.
Yeah. And Kurt, he's all yours, by the way. Dave?
That's fine.
Really?
So, yes.
All right,
so enjoy him. Enjoy him. I've had him for 40 years.
Because I'm coming up broke.
Is there an exit package or something that I'm getting, or is there a severance package?
We'll talk. All right, talk to you later,
All right,
Kurt.
buddy. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys.
He is the coolest cat.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And we had a good run. What do you have, like
40 years?
40 years. I mean,
it's like sheer madness.
So next week it'll be the Kurt and Dave show. You still don't get top billing.
Yeah, I know. I've been here for 40 years and I've been stepped over.
Special thanks to our executive producer Tony Lasana with opishows.com. Opie is hippo backwards. OPPIH shows.com. We're distributed by Ed Silla with Radio Misfits. Great Talk Radio isn't dead. It just moved to a better place.
Yeah.
He, by the way, did a great German accent.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I also want to thank Michelle's brother Rick for helping with the Cyclone sound effects.
Yeah. And next time we're going to try to get that down to 15 seconds
You
or
saw
so.
what it was.
Yeah, I know. I just thought there'd be a bigger payoff. That's all. Check out radiomisfits.com. That's where Ed Silla has put all of his great stuff, including Minutia Men Celebrity Interview, which will be back again next week.
Well, you did that all differently.
The preceding was a presentation of Opie Productions. Find our other great shows wherever you find podcasts, including opishows.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?
Remember, we built this city. We built this city on rock and roll.
That is the song I hate more than any other song ever.